I guess the aim is we're showing you what can be achieved. And what I'd say is this is achieved by volunteers, ordinary people who didn't really know much about housing, but had help. So, click on.
So basically,
I say it kind of started similar to what you're doing at the moment. So it was a Churches Together initiative, and they had 6 different topics over a 6-week period, you know, exploring our community. And Bob Bryden, who ran it, came up with a phrase ultimately: Keswick, a great place to live, but a rotten place to find somewhere to live, as house and rent prices are beyond the reach of many local people. 2009, and nothing has changed.
and it's exactly the same today, isn't it?
So this is the initial bunch of renegades who got involved.
So
and they started off actually, so we can talk for hours on this, so we really try not to. They thought maybe they could raise enough money to be able to buy one house in Keswick that at least could be available for local people. And then they discovered about community land trusts, and it absolutely snowballed. So we formed in 2010 as a community land trust, linked with 2 churches in Keswick who had identified bits of land that could be used to put houses on. To unlock government funding, Keswick had to become a registered provider of social housing, which is quite a lot of form filling, you know, quite hard work. But they got all that done. But then to be able to afford to buy the first plot of land, Cumberland Building Society said, we need you to raise 50,000 from the local community. So
we raised £60,000.
Yeah.
So we overachieved on that one, which was great actually.
Absolutely. So that meant that we could buy the site, get planning permission, which unlocked the grant funding. And I'm going to go on to the next one. So then we got quite excited as it was developing on it was a bit of a graveyard at St John's Church that wasn't suitable for burial. So it was a win-win. They got some money from us, but then we were also able.
So those people who are familiar with Keswick, you'll probably realise where the site is, right next to St John's Church.
And Castlehead Medical Centre.
The medical centre.
Yeah.
It used to be used as a cut-through for a lot of people walking sort of back to the houses. And basically, you can see on the left-hand side, that is the scheme under construction. And we have the contractors working with our treasurer to get the work completed. And this is the finished article.
It was 11 properties in total, 1 that was sold outright, 5 were done as 50% shared owned, and 5 for affordable rent. And from that, if anyone's met Bill Greeley, they'll know that he can talk for England, and he was trying to tap up Allerdale to get some more money from them. And they said, well, how about this? So it's a disused toilet block in the centre of Keswick. If we help you with it, you have it for £1 peppercorn, and maybe we can make it into some flats.
It's just a great example of enabling development, really, because that disused building, we converted it, and it's now 4 homes for our residents. This is the construction
just up past where the betting shop was.
Process.
This one.
Daisy.
And 4 1-bed apartments, because there was no real accommodation for single people in Keswick. And as I said, Keswick Community Housing Trust got help, so Impact Housing Association gave a lot of guidance at the beginning, and they were linking up with Atkinson's as a developer on Calvert Way. And Keswick Community Housing Trust was asked, would you like to also be involved? So we had an opportunity to buy 22 properties then on the Calvert Way development.
Which is a massive step forward for the trust. But we took that sort of leap of faith. These are now in occupation, been in occupation a number of years. There's talk now about a second phase. And just great, because when you look at the split of shared ownership and affordable to rent houses, it's amazing. 4 4-bed properties, 14 3-bed, and 4 2-bed properties.
Yeah, split evenly, yeah. And then This was meant to be our first development. So, and this actually finished in 2021. So if nothing else had happened, this may not have happened because people can get enthusiasm fatigue when it's
10 years in the making.
Absolutely. There was Keswick Methodist Church in Southey Street, and they had a vision that if they could repurpose their main church building, it would release their church hall for a site for affordable housing. So they developed a fantastic multi-purpose building.
A lot of people use when we're in this room.
Maybe do yoga then.
And this, those of you will remember, is the building at the back of the church, which are literally, from the church's perspective, this was surplus to requirements. We actually got involved, and that's the conversion of 4 properties.
4, so 3 3-bed and 1 2-bed, again for affordable rent. And the National Community Land Trust, actually, we won an award for this development of the class as beautiful community-led homes and how they fitted in. And then when the Southey Court Methodist Church conversion was going on, Allerdale, having seen the success of the toilet block, had come to KCHT and said, actually, there's an old bike shop just by the Otley Road car park. Could you do the same? But we are totally volunteer-led, and we just felt couldn't juggle 2 at the same time.
It's too much for the trust to actually take 2 developments on.
Absolutely. And all credit to Allerdale, they still saw the potential, so they actually project managed and did the conversion themselves, but then asked.
They needed a regulated provider to manage the properties, and fortunately we were in the right position at the right time to actually be able to manage them. So we managed those 4 properties for the residents.
And that's the finished article. So again, 4 1-bed flats.
And there's the
Cumberland do recognise that there's an issue. As Louise says, we have to keep on banging the drum on this. 2 minutes,
Oops, sorry. Oh wow.
Do you want me to get involved?
That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
So we also manage a number of properties for people who are private individuals, and there are people within the area who own properties, and they ask us to manage them on their behalf at an affordable rent level. Fantastic for us as volunteers to see this, because we hear so many stories of people just wanting to sort of, get sort of 12 or £1,500 a week. And we manage a number of properties on that basis.
So really, from a standing start, KCHT's been responsible for providing 41 homes, and we look after a further 6 at the moment. We did a rough count, there's over 80 adults and 60 children who now have secure, safe, affordable homes in Keswick, and it means the world for them. Because we're very conscious of the human impact. We housed 2 years ago a family that had been across 4 different houses, and as you can see from what we got on the screen, for them it means everything to have that secure home.
You might have read about these people in the Keswick Reminder. Obviously 4 different properties in 3 years, and just to be having the Keswick Community Housing Trust providing them accommodation which is secure, some of the feedback is fantastic. However,
the challenge remains, because basically in the 10 years or so that our properties were added on, 18 new ones came on in total in Keswick. But at the same time, over 280 properties swapped to second homes or holiday lets. So we're still at this 32% of homes that aren't someone's main home, and the challenges that brings. So we're continuing to search for more opportunities and lobbying. So we've been lobbying, say, can the 100% council tax that's raised on second homes, can that be ring fenced to help provide affordable housing? We've lobbied to say Allerdale did a very good job of finding kind of sites, the old toilet block, the old bike shop. Can Cumberland do the same to spot sites that could be used. We're also conscious that the 106s can sometimes be, can disadvantage people who've got strong local roots but have had to move out of the national park for housing, and then it's very difficult for them to get back in if they don't work in the national park. And again, looking to see if there's opportunities for grants to help buy existing homes at a reduced rate. And
these are the people who
lots
actually.
of people who get involved. So I think sometimes people look at challenges and think it's too much, it's too big. But actually, we put together a list of the names of people who've been involved supporting KCHT from day one to now, and also organisations. And it's a phenomenal amount. I think if you go to people with an idea, then
It's amazing
they want
what
to
they can
help.
come back with. Yeah.
So that's it.